This video is not intended to encourage or glorify any kind of drug use. The sole purpose of these videos is to educate you on the dangers of what these substances can do to you. Please do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video. I repeat, do not do any of the acts mentioned in this video. I have never been a drug user. I drank once in a while and smoked pot years ago, back when I was a teen in high school a few times, and that's it. I'm 24 now, have a master's, and a well-paying full-time job. Yesterday I was walking through Washington Square Park, where I pass every day, and there are always people there looking to sell drugs. Not in the park anymore due to cameras, but it is well known you can meet a dealer and do the transaction elsewhere these days. They usually don't solicit drugs to you unless you stop to stand around near one of them or look like you're looking for something. Yesterday, I happened to stop by a row of benches to check some messages on my phone when a dealer on the bench to my right asked me if I need anything. My life has been pretty boring the last few years, and I feel like I haven't really lived, taken any risks, or done anything crazy, so I figured, what the hell, maybe I'll buy some pot. It's been a while. I said yeah, and after asking me several times if I'm a cop, he gave me his number and tells me to meet him at a fast food place several blocks away, and he will hook me up. I say alright and nervously check to make sure I have cash and go meet the shady looking dude. We sit down, and after hounding me asking me if I'm a cop, he asks what I need. I tell him I just want a dime bag, and he says something like, "Nah, sorry man, I only sell half ounces. You could take that, and I've got some Coke and H." At this point, I didn't want to buy half an ounce of pot. I probably never smoked more than an eighth in my life, but then I started considering his last word, heroin. I've heard so much about it and how crazy addictive it is, and seen it in the movies and TV. I'm thinking The Wire here, one of my favorite shows, and it really started to intrigue me. I've always wondered what it would be like to do heroin. Out of nowhere, I say I'll take the H, and we do the deal there. I give him the cash under the table, and he slides me a small order of fries with the little stamped wax baggie in it. Then he tells me to let him leave first. I put it in my pocket, then nervously race home, my heart racing, cannot believe what I just did. I held on to the bag in my pocket, palms sweating the whole ride home. When I get home, I open the bag and dump some golden flakes and powder on my glass coffee table. At this point, I don't even know what to do. I know you can snort heroin, but it looked all flaky, so I try to remember how they did it in the movies, but they always seem to inject it in film, so I start Googling how to snort heroin, like an idiot, and do a little research on the stuff and how much to take. I used a card to get it into a fine powder and move a small bump to the side, which I inhaled through a dollar bill. I didn't feel anything yet, so I snorted a small line, which was essentially half the bag. There was very little inside. I waited, and in a few minutes, I had the most pleasurable feeling of pure relaxation and bliss wash over me. I just sat there, and everything felt amazing. I nodded off, and it was great. I had the TV on, but wasn't paying attention. I must have sat around for 4 hours doing nothing, but feel total pleasure. It was like a full-body orgasm times 10 that kept going on and on. When I would nod off, it felt like I was in a pure conscious, lucid, dreamlike state. Sometimes it felt like I was leaving my body. At this point, I did the rest of it and stayed up all night and must have been high for 10 hours straight. I might have slept at one point. It's hard to tell the difference when you nod off, and everything feels good regardless. Just the feeling of being under a blanket was amazing. I was blown away by the power of this drug and just how orgasmic it felt. I never understood why people did drugs before and got so hooked on them, but now I see why. I have the urge to do it again, but I will resist and not do it, at least not for a long time. I understand the addiction potential and how someone could easily tear apart their lives with this stuff. Heroin is pure powdered pleasure. I actually feel proud of myself for having the balls to do something this crazy, and I feel like it was a valuable life experience and my window into another world and part of society. I will never forget the day I did heroin. Now, ask me anything. Edit. Please no more comments telling me I'm going to be a homeless addict dying of an overdose now. Don't lecture me with all your misconceptions and lack of any real knowledge or experience about the drug. I understand if you know someone who's been hurt by it. We all do. Any drug can ruin lives. Please ask me questions instead of trying to lecture me, and do some research first before spewing lies. Update 2. I don't regret this at all, and I see a lot of talk about how cocaine isn't as bad as heroin, and people telling anyone considering trying a hard drug to do coke instead. I've known and seen a lot of heavy coke users, many who have become addicted and OD'd, and I find it disturbing that people think coke is acceptable because some higher class circles find it that way. I'm thinking the young Wall Street and college crowds here who associate it with money and being cool, and is easily manageable to use for recreation, while society tells them that heroin is for the poor and destitute and leads to automatic addiction and suffering. So I plan to try cocaine the next chance I get and compare the two in terms of effects and experience. Doing heroin was memorable and life-changing, and I know I can handle anything once. I've done my research on coke and know the risks, so if anyone has any questions or opinions on that matter, feel free to chime in. Whether it is to tell me I'm a fucking idiot or to give me advice, whatever. This is an experiment and an adventure in life. I'll report back once I try it. Wednesday night update. Fuck, I'm still withdrawing, throwing up and sweating out gallons of sweat. I really want to use and relapse right now. I know I shouldn't. These urges are so strong and overpowering. Please help me if you can before I get the chance to. 1,000 comment update. Fuck my life. I wish I was trolling and this was all some elaborate lie. I was doing everything right, have been clean, and somehow a rumor got out that I had been using, and my girlfriend found out, and she basically broke up with me last night, but is now putting that decision on hold. I have some serious unrelated business and work I need to attend to in 2 hours, and I don't know if I'll be in any state to be able to and be ready. I can't stop crying. Fuck heroin, fuck my life. I guess I don't need to say that since heroin pretty much fucked my life for me in under 2 weeks. I just want to die. NA update. Went to NA. I shared my story and it seemed to hit a lot of people. I cried. I got a lot of support and numbers and feel like I'm in a good place and truly believe I never have to use again. I will be going back. Update number whatever. I slept for about 30 hours, sweat out my entire body, and now I feel okay. I also took a shit for the first time in like a week, which was pretty awesome. I can stop this on my own. I don't even think I need NA, but I'm not ruling it out. I have no craving or desire to do heroin. I'm sure some of you will be quick to say I need real support, and maybe you're right, but right now, I think I'll be okay. New update. I appreciate all the genuine concern and advice. I finished my stash, bad idea but too late. Threw out my needles and I'm too faded to respond to comments for now. When I sober up in a couple hours, I'll check out some NA meetings. Edit. I nodded off after taking another hit at 4 AM and couldn't be bothered to look at this anymore and just woke up sore with a headache. For those of you who think I'm a troll because I can do heroin and type well with good grammar, fuck off. It's not that hard if you type slowly and carefully without looking at the screen. The screen is a blur and too bright, and it's challenging, but I would rather post coherently than like an idiot. I know it's hard to believe someone dumb enough to do heroin is intelligent in other regards. Comments disintegrated into mindless bandwagon accusations of being a troll. I wanted to engage in a discussion and know I need help and my mind isn't exactly right. I'll sift through the posts and respond to the genuine ones once I feel better. For people calling fake, is this enough proof for you? Do you want to see my track marks too? They're not pretty, and this is under 24 hours after first shooting up. I am not proud of any of this, and posted it here because I can't tell anyone in my life, and don't want to keep it to myself. I figured doing another IAMA would give me the opportunity to talk about my issues anonymously, and help realize the extent of my problem through feedback. The assholes saying this is all fake trolling can fuck themselves. People can post being prostitutes and all sorts of things that harm a large number of other people, but dismiss someone on the track to becoming an addict who needs help and just wants to talk and maybe help some other people from making the same mistakes. I appreciate the people giving legitimate advice and asking questions. I'm going to the next NA meeting I can find. I know there will be a lot of people telling me I told you so and urging me to seek help, and they are right. That's all good, and trust me, I know the danger I am in of ruining my life, but let's keep this an AMA first and foremost. I will be checking out an NA meeting this week, and I know I'm on a fast track to becoming an addict, and I want to stop before it gets out of control and I'm physically addicted. No one in my life can know about this, and I want to stop before it's too late. I have been using for 2 to 3 day periods, then taking a couple days off, then using again. The breaks were in part to try to not get hooked, and in part because I had an unreliable dealer who charged me more than double what I should be paying. I got ripped off several times when I tried to buy off the street. My former dealer is the guy who I first bought from. Today I met a guy through some internet channels who said he could get bundles, 10 small bags of heroin, for significantly less than half the price my old dealer gave me on his most fair deal. He also happened to be an IV user and had a stash of sealed needles and supplies and offered to shoot me up. I had kind of hoped I would find someone who would, and he was a pro finding small hidden veins and injecting a bag in one shot. To quote Trainspotting, take the best orgasm you've ever had, multiply by 1,000, and you're still nowhere near it. He gave me some new needles and tourniquets, and when I got home I tried to do it myself. After not hitting a vein countless times, I finally got a red flag and was good to go. I have injected 5 bags since 4 p.m., the last one a little less than an hour ago, and I'm tempted to do one more. Ask me anything. Forgive me for any delays if I nod off. These 2 posts truly show the dangers of getting into drugs like heroin. It can be very damaging to you and the people around you. Plus nowadays, it's most likely not heroin. It's probably fentanyl laced with xylazine too. You just gotta be careful with the choices you make. If something in your gut tells you not to do it, then don't do it. Just be safe out there, and don't be stupid. Here's an update from 3 years ago. This is not an AMA or anything exciting really. I saw a disturbing and sad post about an opiate OD on r/public freakout and was reminded to try to log in and check this. I guess it has been over 3 years since I have checked this or posted anything. I find this Reddit account pretty overwhelming. I'm just posting to let people know that I'm still alive, clean, and doing well. Thanks to everyone who has reached out in messages checking in over the past few years, and sorry if I can't get back to you.